think I'll go on live now. Hey everyone, sorry about this, I won't be a second. For some reason, it wouldn't let me switch scene on Steam desktop view, so I needed to quickly lift my headset to do it. We should be here.
The joys of streaming.
Let me know if people's volumes are okay. I mean, I can't change it on Steam dashboard anyway. I don't know what it's doing. Nothing wants to work. Well, hey everyone, we're back. We're back again. Part 2. Dr. Oculus. As I went there, I am. It feels weird having a different headset on. But anyway.
I know. I dusted the index off for all of about 10 minutes and went, let's go back to Resident Evil. So, yeah.
This camera is
taken over me.
I think the camera's the same distance away, it's just I've made this. It's smaller on the stream setup. It's just as far away as always. Confusing. But anyway, maybe I need to move them a little bit. But welcome everyone. Episode 3 of Season 2. Again, joined by Dr. Oculus. Last month, near the end, we discussed about what's got us excited for PlayStation VR2. And we said we'd be back to discuss what we think of PlayStation VR2. So this is where we are. We are here.
Yes. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yep, come back.
It's not so much a pleasure being back in an index.
Yeah. I was putting the Vive on, I thought it feels so weird. Feels weird having a different thing on my face.
That said, let's get straight into it. What's your thoughts on the comfort of the PSVR2?
It's sort of like it's a mix. It's like you've got to get it perfect every time you put it on. It's not like this one where I can just shut it on and it always fits the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Like, I put the index on and I'm like, and it's done. Like, I don't have to put any thought into applying the headset. Yeah. And then I can wear this thing for hours.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
Yeah, it seems like once you've got this set up, like you've got the index, you've got the Vive Pro, when you set it up, it's just ready to put on. And but I feel like sometimes I put it on and it feels like it's pressing on the bridge of my nose, and then I've got to adjust it by pulling the thing and pushing it back in, and it all seems to be working okay. And it just seems like you've always got to give it a fiddle to get it right.
Yeah, every time and then also I'm one for moving the headset in and out.
Yeah.
And I learned very, very early on. So naturally, what most of us possibly normally do is get a VR headset, smash it into your face, and then wind the lenses as close to your eyeballs as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible idea with the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
I get lots of sort of, the weird artifacts around the edge. It literally can pinch my nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is just a really bad idea putting it that close to your eyes.
Yeah, you've sort of got to have it out a little bit. I did it earlier today. I thought I'd go and quickly play a demo before I came in here, and I did slide it in as far as I could. And I know what you mean. They've got like the blurry artifacts around the edge of everything. You're just like, oh.
Exactly. And the first thing I naturally wanting to smash it as close to my face as humanly possible, I was like, wow, the FOV on this thing is really tiny. And then as I wound the lenses out, it actually got bigger.
Mm.
So there is no benefit to smashing it as close to your eyeballs as humanly possible. So the more you know.
One thing I've found as well when putting it on, those nose flaps are the most annoying ones I've had. I think it's cost us double.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've got it on and they're folding up and they're touching pushing up into the bottoms of the screens a bit, and I'm like, what?
That's it. And other headsets, like every now and again, I'll be aware of the nose flaps, and then I'll just sort of jam a finger up between there, and then it kind of settles back right.
Yeah.
But the PSVR 2 seems to just be a bit weird, and I can't just fix it by shoving a finger up there. I have to take it off and on again, basically, to reset those nose flaps. They're very weird. I've never looked into them. Like, I've never looked at it and went, yeah, that's why. I never remember, unless I'm in the thing,
yeah,
that it's a problem. And then when I'm in the thing, I can't stop.
I feel with it as well, like, I think it is because it's like, seems to be two folds for the nose flap. So there's a first set and then a second set. And I think I get it comfy in the first set, and the second set's the one that's pushing up because I'm trying to get the first set comfy. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, that's just not necessary. It's not required. Most of the facial gaskets that I have are like aftermarket ones, and they've got just, one that overlaps the other one, and then it just kind of always fits all noses, and it's fine, probably. I've never had a problem anyway. But yeah, that one just every now and again gets a little bit meh.
Yeah.
And then, do you have like the means of showing an image in this place, or is that too much to spring upon you?
No, yeah, that's not a problem.
So I sent you a picture the other day in Discord.
Yeah, let me just see if it's... Why won't it let me control my...
Now, while he's doing that, I'll preface what I'm about to say. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Daniel's in the...
Also, everyone else in the chat.
So the typical VRverse is the red ring basically around the eyes. But I don't get the typical VRverse with the PSVR2.
I might look at it for a bit, but just give me a second.
I may have sprung too much on you. It's fine. I can basically just explain it. But yeah, rather than getting the usual red ring around the face, I seem to have two very firm contact points, like I have horns just stuck on my forehead. These two little red horns that just kind of stick out, and they are a little bit uncomfortable to me. In order for that kind of long wearing play sessions. When I first got it, I was completely shocked because the delivery and the shipping I do. The delivery and the shipping of the PSVR was an absolute travesty for a lot of people, and yet it was absolutely fantastic all at the same time. So I was frantically swiping my email, refreshing all weekend, and I'm like, they've not given me a dispatch date. They've just said it's ready for shipping, and it just kept saying ready for shipping, and then on the morning of, I woke up and I checked and I was like, it's still ready for shipping. And I was really depressed. Like a little child, I was sulking. I was like, I'm not getting out of bed because I took the day off to play with my new toy, and my new toy isn't coming. So I just laid there in bed, just absolutely just sulking. And then all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door, and I'm just like, ugh, it's not for me. So I let it go past. And then, 30 minutes later or so, I was just like, I need to get a drink. So I went downstairs, and I was like, there's a box.
Yeah.
It's not as big as I thought it would be, but it does have a symbol of a battery on the side. And it's addressed to me. And then I got it upstairs, and I was like, wait. And then I put it on my chair. I knifed it open, and then staring at me was the Call of the Mountain logo. And I was like, I haven't even paid for this thing yet. And I've got it. Well, crap. And then I had to rush and get ready and prepare to essentially go live for the unboxing, because now I couldn't not have the unboxing. Like, I needed to see it, and I was going to do it on camera. And so that is basically what I did. That was the way my morning went for the PSVR. So yeah, there was a lot of people, I think, here we go. Oh, he's found my horns. So this is essentially the way it kind of looks on me, where I just get these really tough sort of things that just, it's really cool. I'm nose peeking at the stream as well. Just sort of a really bad sort of friction point just there on my head. That's my VR head in the PSVR2, which does somewhat limit comfort and use of the headset for me, which is absolutely fine, because there is another thing that I mildly have an issue with.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one. It's a really tough one to get perfect on comfort, and also, like, we'll talk about it in a bit more in detail later, but getting the sweet spot, it's something that's like quite a juggling act.
It is. And then I will say this though, it is a massive, massive improvement over the PSVR 1. That
Yeah.
thing can give me a headache anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour and a half. I would just be dying to take that thing off. Whereas the PSVR 2, I have gone a lot longer than that time and still been fine-ish.
Yeah, I think what I know we've said it is comfortable once you get it right. It's just getting it right is the problem. It sounds like we're describing it as the most uncomfortable thing you could ever wear, but it's not. It's just you've got to get it perfect for it to.
But as far as everybody being like, the sweet spot is tiny, it's the size of a pin. I never had a problem finding the sweet spot. I had the previously described issues where I was ignorant and did things wrong.
Yeah.
But once I figured those things out, I plonk it on my face and I'm like, yep, that's clear as the thing that's exceptionally clear.
Yeah, I think it's. You need to get the. I don't know if people are just not getting the IPD perfect. I know it's got the easy setup guide, but I know sometimes it looks like your eyes are in it. I don't know if people are waiting for the blue line to go around. They're just seeing their eyes in there and going, okay, I'm done.
Maybe.
They're not like turning it enough till it starts to give the blue light to say your eyes are in the right place.
It was something that when I first got it, I was just like, oh yeah, we've got this roller thing. And then I started rolling it. I was like, there's no visual display of what IPD I have it set to.
Yeah.
Oh no, how am I going to set it to my IPD? Yeah. And those of you that watched the unboxing stream, I basically put it on my face and then the controllers were completely dead and I couldn't really go any further. So I didn't realize what the whole process was going to be until later on when I was like, right, the controllers have had enough time. Let's play this thing.
Yeah.
And then found out I was just like, oh yeah, eye tracking. It's going to just figure the IPD out for me.
Yeah. So I know when, obviously I was out in the image, you were talking about the delivery. Now that was a big thing.
It was a massive shock. Massive shock. As I had not paid for it and the website hadn't updated. So then the end result was I assumed it just wasn't coming.
Yeah, and I felt really guilty because everyone's like, oh yeah, I pre-ordered it as soon as I could. And I'm like, I pre-ordered mine in January and I'm like, I was getting all the updates. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting like, it's been shipped and everything. And everyone's like, oh, mine's still on processing. And I was thinking, God, I feel guilty as I pre-ordered miles after these and they seem to be updating, like giving me mine. But then obviously we found out.
When you said you would get all your updates, I'm like, oh, I bet you pre-ordered first thing, whereas I was like a day late because I missed the email. And I was like, no, wait a minute. I pre-ordered mine and then saw if he could try and like shoe on his way onto pre-ordering his using my email. So then I was like, well, he ordered his after me. Why is... And then, it was a weird conversation that we were in behind closed doors where everyone was like, I've got my thing. And we're like, where's my thing? It was just so weird. And confusing and a poor user experience for me.
So I had the big issue. The reason Doc tried to shoehorn me on his, which it wouldn't let me anyway, was because I was stupid and didn't actually update my PlayStation account was linked to a defunct email address that didn't exist anymore from an old website I ran. So when I was like, oh yeah, I'll sign up for the pre-order, I was like, why everyone's getting links and I'm not? And I realised, I'm linked to it's linked to a defunct email address.
I did something fairly similar, but I had access to my email address. I just completely forgot I had access to the email address. Because the first thing is it used to be linked to one email account, but then somebody kept trying to get into my PlayStation account like all the time. So then I swapped email address to a completely different, pretty much abandoned email address and forgot that I'd done that. So I'm checking I'll tell you how old it was. It was an AOL email address.
Jesus.
Like in the UK, in the like 90s, 2000 era, the only way most of us got any decent internet was by signing up with AOL. And it was that address that my PlayStation account was linked to. The world has since moved on and AOL is essentially trash. Yeah. But, I mean, other providers are available. We don't hate AOL here. We just, the broadband's a thing. So yeah, I was checking the wrong email address. Then when I remembered the right email address, I was able to pre-order, but I was late.
And I missed both pre-order link things, the chances. And obviously they said order open to everyone. I think it's like late November, wasn't it? Anyone can order now. And I was like, I'm going to wait and see if any of the retailers advertise it and just pre-order from there. And then got near close to the end of January, I was like, no one's advertising it. And then I quickly went on the FAQs. It was like, it's only available through PlayStation Direct in the UK. I was like, for at least the first batch, I was like, oh, looks like I'm pre-ordering from there then.
Yeah, I was, well, that morning. So I woke up that morning kind of early and I was just like, right, who's got them in stock? Let's have a look. And I'm just skimming through all of the websites and nobody mentions anything about the PSVR2. And I was just like, I don't know if there's just going to be any randomly sent to stores. I can just go and buy one and cancel my PlayStation order. That's what I was doing. And when I couldn't do that, I started sulking.
Then everyone started turning up, surprising everyone.
So then when I got mine, I had to rush to the group and was like, anybody who says that they've not taken money or it's not even shipped yet, hope is still alive because I'm staring at one.
And then we got the usual Reddit deep dive where someone found out if you inspect your order, you could actually find your tracking code and stuff. They just hadn't updated the web page at all.
See, I don't think we were viewing cached versions of the website because I'm sure I Control R, Shift F5, like I did a full proper refresh, and it never changed for me. But I mean, I got it in the end, and the crisis was averted.
Yeah,
I became a sad to a happy boy in the space of the time it took me to go pee.
So on the day it actually arrived, I was at work, but mine wasn't. I finished I think I mentioned last one. I finished work at 2:30 in the afternoon every day, so it's not so bad. And they actually gave me the delivery spot of 1:30 to 2:30 or 1 till 2, and I was like, get in. It's it's not going to be sat there and me going, just hurry up and end it so I can go and play. I mean, I jumped into your unboxing stream, and luckily doing that, I learned that I needed to charge my controllers.
So that's the thing, the controllers, everybody that I know, essentially the controllers arrived just dead. A lot of things will come with a 50, 60, 30% charge, so I figured I'd at least be able to do the setup, but then that was it. I turned it on and it was like, your batteries are dead. I was like, oh well, nice, thanks Sony. Okay. So I was not going to mention the M word. I was not going to mention the M word.
No one's allowed to mention that word.
It's a dirty word in the VR community right now because people won't stop saying it. Also, I have no reason to. Mine is perfectly fine.
Do you know if you say it 3 times in the mirror, a PlayStation VR headset comes out and kills you?
Just the one, though, not the 2. You don't get the 2, because otherwise I would grab a net and be like, try and catch me another one, but no.
But yeah. So the shipping fiasco was luckily not a bad one. It turned out good for everyone. It would have been awful if no one got them.
It would have been a really sad, angry day.
Yeah.
For folks that never received one.
Because it seemed it was only on the UK side, didn't it? Because everyone else was like, "Yeah, look, I've got my shipping emails and stuff."
This is the thing. We're in VR is multinational. It's worldwide, and so we're in various groups with people all over the world.
Yeah. And
every single one of them was just like, "I've got my thing. I've got my thing. UPS will be here tomorrow," and I'm like, "No, I haven't." So. Yeah, I was just kind of down about the whole thing, but it had a happy ending. So yes, it was what it was certainly the headset that I deserved, or whatever the Dark Knight quote was.
Yeah, so outside of obviously Doc having an issue not knowing to charge his controllers, I think he was the first one I've seen doing an unboxing stream. Ease of setup blows my mind.
Yes. You plug in a cable and then it does one of the first things you want to do is put the headset on, and it's just like, no, not yet, don't put your headset on. And then you do a thing and you're like, headset, and it's like, no, not just yet. But eventually once you do that, the whole thing, I remember the DK2 days, the way they measured your IPD was just like, it's probably 64, here's some green lines, if it looks fine, carry on. Yeah. Whereas this is, especially with the eye tracking, it really does walk you through every step of the process. It tells you all about the wrist straps, not how to remove them, which is very easy. You just go chink and then they fall out. It's very user-friendly, incredibly user-friendly.
Yeah, so I had the problem of, with me, is I brought it upstairs to use in the game, like my big VR space, and I couldn't be bothered connecting it to the desktop, and I totally forgot that you from your unboxing that it was like take it off, put it back on, like that type of thing. Like when you put it on, it's like you need to follow the instructions. I totally forgot about that, so I shot it on. Didn't even like didn't even plug the HDMI in anything because I thought it'll still come through on the headset. And then it was like plugged. I was like, oh, I've got to go and plug it into or something. No, I had to unplug stuff out the back of my monitor to plug that in and stuff like that. So I was like, ah.
I saw a bunch of people on Reddit that was just like, Sony said it would work without a TV, but it doesn't work. It's just like, just plug it in for 5 minutes and then you can unplug the TV. It's fine.
Yeah.
But they obviously, I don't know whether they don't own TVs. Why do you own a PlayStation 5 and no TV? I don't get it.
Yeah. But
so
even just then setting up just to use anyway, it's just like unplug this, put it on. I was like, this is mad how easy it is. Like plug the one wire in the front of the console. Because for me, I mean, I've got that anyway with the Vive, but then I need to plug the facial tracker in and things like that. Because I always just have the breakout box with the Vive in, so it's sort of one cable for me all the time. But obviously, if I want to maybe jump in the index and use the index for a bit, I've got to plug everything out the back of the PC to plug that in.
But is it just one cable for you? Because, I mean, the breakout box for my Cosmos had a USB, a power cord, and a display port.
Yeah, I've always got
that. Then it's one headset into the breakout box.
Yeah,
one cable into the...
Yeah, it's just one. Yeah, so it's got all the cables out the back, but it's always normally plugged in, so it's just plugging the one off the headset into the breakout box when I want to use it now.
So it's, yeah, but that one cable, the one cable that everyone's just like, it's wired, Sony, you so... Like, do you even care about that cable?
No.
I am light and just non-existent.
And I'm very pro using a wire. I just decompression with wireless, and I just don't want any decompression.
Yeah,
I'm pro wire anyway. I think it's a shock for people who got into VR through the Quest and then thinking, oh, so it's got a wire. But for people like us that have done VR for so long, you don't worry about the wire.
No, the cable that I had for the Oculus CV1, I basically had a very, very long extension cable to it that I then strapped together with like neoprene wire wrapping stuff. That cable weighed a ton, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, this PSVR cable, I really don't care that it's cabled. And like you, even if I'm using Link for the Quest, I still just go cable because it's just more reliable and it's better in just about every way.
Yeah. But I know it was a big debate as it was announced, wasn't it? Oh, it's got a wire. I'm not going to buy it. It's got a wire. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world.
No, I'm absolutely fine with the setup. I've been staring at the PSVR 1 because at this point in time I could fire up the PlayStation and play the PSVR 1. But I don't think I ever will again. I don't think I can go back.
No.
And that's I'm thinking I can save myself a bunch of cables and just retire it from life.
Yeah. Moving from the PSVR 1 situation to the PSVR 2 situation is mad. Like
it truly
how many
is.
cables you have to plug the camera in the back and then the breakout box into the back of the USB and then plug the HDMI from the console into the back of the breakout box, and it was just cables everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, my breakout box, I 3D printed a bracket for it that allowed me to essentially screw it to a wall, which kept things sort of out of the way and tidy-ish. But I'm thinking now I'm gonna end up with just a blue cross on the wall because I just don't need it. I don't think I could ever go back.
No. PlayStation VR serves everyone well. I mean, especially the ones who's only ever done PlayStation VR. I mean, it's probably the longest serving headset that's ever been out before an upgrade.
It yeah, no, it will be, because it came out with a little after the OG Vive, was it? Like it's an old headset.
It was October 2016, so it was like 6 years old. It's over 6 years old.
Wow. That is substantial. Who's that person who was just like, you can free clutter from your life. You take your thing, you thank it, and then you release it to landfill. I think a lot of people probably are in that situation where they're grabbing their PSVR1 and like, thank you for your service. Here's your box of Eternal Rest, or a polystyrene head, as I'm planning.
Mm-hmm. But this is obviously the actual features of the headset is what. Let's go with what normal VR headsets don't have. We've got like consumer. We've got the eye tracking.
Yeah, that's the big thing. That was the only real reason I really wanted it, was the eye tracking, because I was like, this is next level hardware on a consumer headset. Like, from a Vive Pro eye user, you're like, yeah, eye tracking, it's fine, but I don't think anybody actually overly uses it to its fullest potential because it's not standard across the board yet.
No, it's Neos and VR Chat use it. That's it.
Well, see, this is the thing. They use it, but they use it for social features where you can track the eyes to see what the eyes are doing when you're looking at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony are using it properly.
Yeah.
By basically dropping the resolution of crap you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at it, it forces the power to that because that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
It also helps with the likes of aiming. 9 times out of 10, you've got a bow and arrow game, whatever you like this, and you're aiming at something. I don't know why I went Spider-Man for this bow and arrow, but you're aiming at a thing, and then your eyes are focusing on that, and it's using that to help target stuff.
Yeah. Now,
which is a wonderful thing.
Speaking of using it to target stuff, after playing one of Enhancer's game, I decided, you know what, I'm paying the $8.99 to upgrade res, and actually found out in this menu, you can change to Control Type 4, and you aim with you aim with your eye tracking, like.
So you're like Cyclops from the X-Men.
Yeah, so you're holding a button on the controller, Y, moving your eyes, like using your eye tracking to tag everything, and it's just.
I don't know if that would give me like proper like eye fatigue.
It's like a game released in 1992 or 4 originally, and it's the best way I've played it.
I did have access to somebody's library, and I played it on I think it was the Index or something like that. And yeah, I was not impressed by that game. It was rather annoying to me. And I love Tetris Effect. Like, it's one of my go-to like recommendations for people is just play Tetris Effect. If you don't even like puzzles, it's just so incredibly special to be in that environment. Yeah. And I presume it's the same on the PSVR2. I don't know. Maybe I'll blow the 35 quid and buy it again. But...
I did. Well, to be fair, I had it on disc, and obviously I just got the digital PS5. Because in my head, I didn't buy many disc versions of games. I normally bought them digital. And then I ended up buying Tetris Effect. Well, Enhance give me a code for the Quest. They give me a code for PC, and I was like, I should really give them some money. I'm not going to try and get another version off them. So I blew it's $32.99 or whatever it is. I blew that, but it's the best version. It's the best version of, like, I can't imagine. I put a tweet out after I played it. I can't imagine me going back to any of the other versions.
Oh, you're making me want to play it again. Because there is the other feature that we were about to go on to, and that is facial haptics. It's not available on your other commercial PC VR headsets. So how does it deal with the facial haptics? Is there any facial haptics, or is it just kind of for the end of a level or something?
It's at the end of the level. It just, when you're zooming in, it does the facial haptics. But what they'll do with the controllers, which are another crazy feature, is the haptics in the controllers actually pulse to the beat in different vibration strengths of the music. I was like, honestly, once I played it, I was like, I'll never want to go and play it another way.
So is it a free upgrade? Does the disc work? And then
I think all enhancers are paid upgrades.
okay.
I had the
disc
disc
I had
version.
the disc.
Yeah, see, I had the disc version, but then I sold it when I got the digital PS5, because I was like, I'm never
Gonna touch a
gonna
disc again.
touch a
Yeah.
disc again. And then, and I was like, I'll buy it for.
Yeah, no, I had the disc version, but then I won a competition and got the PC version for free.
Yeah.
So I was playing on the Epic Store, and I was like, you know what, let's pass the beauty and power of PlayStation VR on. So I gave the disc to a friend of mine who loves physical copies of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when the PSVR2 came out, I was like, damn, I wish I had that disc. But I don't know. And then I purchased the game on Quest because to have the ability to take that game away is very appealing to me. And now I kind of want it on the PlayStation again.
Yeah.
And now you made me want it even more. You did that last time. You made me want moss.
So let's go on to, should you mention the M word? Because I just want to know people's opinions on it, really. Obviously, the displays. My problem is I think it's more noticeable on an OLED because obviously the pixel rates and stuff. But I've always used OLED nearly all my time in VR, so I didn't even notice it at all.
See, that's the thing. So, for those of you that don't know the M word, Miura is basically when a color surrounding a pixel can't reach the same color as the central pixel, so it kind of gives it like a weird ghosting effect around. If I gather the whole thing correctly.
Yeah.
So the end result is that the colors can kind of look weird and blacks look green, and it's not pleasant on the eyes.
Yeah.
But I've also heard reports that it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, because I hear some people say they can't play it because of it. And then some people, like myself, I can see it if I force myself to look for it, but I'm never forcing myself to look for it. I'm too busy enjoying what I'm playing.
I basically had to Google what it was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't experience any of it. And apparently there are people that are basically reporting it to Sony. Mm-hmm. Sony is sending replacement headsets, and it is better. It's different.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it can be down to just calibration of the panel in the headset, and some of them are better calibrated than others.
Yeah, I know Bob mentioned chat, like Brad, the VR man. He's basically put a thing out saying if you can change the brightness and stuff, it can reduce it and things, but I've never even touched any of the settings. But like you said, if the calibration's wrong and stuff, because it's mad when you see it and people are like, oh, it's unplayable, I'll never put it back on. And I was like,
There have been some very, shall we say, dramatic reactions to the PSVR2 in a very negative way.
Yeah.
Combination, because not only is it just the element of, here we go, we've got a definition, uneven brightness levels of pixels, essentially. But some people are even saying that it just makes everything kind of misty and hazy and washed out and really bad. And Dr. Greg's reaction that I saw was just pure fury.
Yeah. It's just sort of every tweet anyone put about PlayStation VR2, he was on it saying, oh, my controller doesn't work, or this and this and this, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah, he was just very visibly and understandably. I mean, you've just blown $500-600 whatever it is, like 13,000 Canadian. You've spent all of this money on this headset, and you get it and you put it on, and then everything looks washed out, and then you go to do a thing and you can't climb a ladder because your right controller doesn't work, but it does work because it works outside of the game, but inside the game it doesn't work. it would be incredibly frustrating for that. I mean, I was moderately frustrated by the shipping and the fact that I didn't have any battery in the controllers, but it sounds like we got off pretty easy.
Yeah.
Compared to others.
Like I said, I do understand it, but I was like, he's putting on every single tweet anyone mentions PlayStation VR, which I was like, I'm getting sick of reading the same comment. I feel, I mean, sorry if you're listening, Greg, but I did nearly mute you. I was like, I'm just gonna have to mute him so I don't see his tweets, because it was like every PSVR tweet he was on, and I thought, I get the point. Your controller doesn't work. It's annoying, but ragging on everyone's PSVR tweet isn't going to fix it for you. I mean, 13 says I'm weird. She says, like, I've got this so laid back view on stuff. Like, if it's broken, going to moaning about it everywhere isn't going to fix it. Just go to the person who can possibly fix it for you.
I was going to say, warranties exist. Just contact Sony and say, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. I think the weird thing, because it was Call of the Mountain that I saw that he was having the controller issue.
Yeah.
One game, one controller worked, but the other one didn't, and then they were swapped on a different game, and I don't know how they got it so bad. Like, I kind of think there was, well, you would assume there's maybe a little bit of user error in there, but it's kind of like Greg knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like
he's been in VR for a long time.
I don't know. So it was a bit rocky. It was a bit rocky, that launch.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, go on.
Won't be a second. Something keeps connecting and disconnecting on my computer. I can hear the. Let me just.
Oh, here we go. Potential stream failure. In 5, 4, 3.
I've just disconnected.
2.
I've disconnected the capture card. I don't know whether, like, because I've got so much plugged in, the capture cards might be tripping. Because so many bloody USBs plugged in at the moment.
I know that feeling.
All I keep hearing is every now and then is doop 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 doop. Like, stop it.
Hopefully, it's not transmitting to the.
It will be.
Yeah.
I'm just recording it through desktop audio, so it will be. But it's only happened like 2 or 3 times since the start, so it's not doing it constantly. But if I can unplug it and stop it, bonus.
So one other feature that I've noticed that is not new, it is available on the Pico Neo 4, the Quest to an extent, basically. You also notice the vents on the top?
Yeah.
That do keep everything sort of, dry and misty free. I've not tried anything physical, although I believe you have, so I'm curious to know how that pans out. But yeah, it's generally kept me cool in VR.
Yeah, so I've done Pistol Whip. Obviously that's one. I've done some Synth Riders, and yeah, there's no misting. You do get sweat on the headband, but
I had that, yes.
The weird rubber they use is like just wipes off. But I've had no misting problems. I haven't felt like I'm sweating. Like normally, like you feel like your face is sweating and stuff. I've never felt any of that. So it could be that it's working really well. I don't know whether it's also the weird facial gasket that helps with it, because it's not not all pressed onto your face. It's like just you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a thin layer and then a thicker sort of interface section, but it is quite lightweight and thin.
Yeah.
The whole thing's quite lightweight, and like when I first picked it up, I thought I don't know how durable this thing is. Yeah. It feels really light, and I thought because of that it felt cheap. But then when you start using it, you realize that actually no, it is quite a robust product, and it is just really light. I've not had people pop them on scales, but I'm supremely confident it's lighter than the Index.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's crazy. Like yourself, when I first got out of the box, I was like, if you punch this with a controller, it's probably just going to crack like normal.
I'm still confident you can break it. You broke a Quest controller, and I'm confident you can break a PSVR one as well. Which I don't even want to think about how much replacements are, if they even sell them.
No.
The PlayStation Pro Elite pad thing's like £200. So yeah, I don't want to think how much of that £500-600 we've just spent is actually on controllers.
Yeah. So on the controllers, the other feature came from the PlayStation 5 pads. Those triggers. Oh, those triggers.
The haptic triggers are the next evolution in pads. Like Nintendo came up with the joypad, and then they came up with rumble pads, and they came up with motion. Nintendo pretty much frequently innovate controllers.
Yeah.
But they had the HD rumble in the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something where they've taken the HD rumble of Nintendo, the rumbling triggers of Microsoft, and just made them exquisite.
Yeah.
And so that feature has come along as well, hasn't it? Which is...
So this was what I was on the demo that I jumped into play before, like earlier today, just to... Because I obviously read everywhere these are the best example of how they work is Star Wars, the Galaxy's Edge.
Really?
Yeah. And they're unbelievable in that, they really are. Like, I've just seen everyone saying, oh, if you want to example, like, demo them, do the demo. I mean, I owned it, well, I bought it on Quest, and I'm even tempted to double dip on that. Just because I want more than the walk through and shoot things. I want to see, like, get more of the guns and more of the things to see how they actually...
See, I'm waiting for a sale on that one. At this point in time, I've got Resident Evil, I've got Call of the Mountain, I've got Gran Turismo, various other games.
Yeah.
So I'm not tempted to even... I've never played it. I've never played that game. So I'm not tempted to go in for 40 quid.
No, that's where I'm at the moment.
Pricey.
I'll probably double dip in it, but I'm going to wait for it to be on sale before I do that.
That said, I expect that game to almost be like just a promotional for Disney World. And not actually any kind of a game. But then I was watching a video by Mike who was actually saying there's like 8 hours worth of content here.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking, okay, that's a bit more than the tech demo that what was the stupid lightsaber one? Everyone's like, the lightsaber dojo is amazing, and I'm like, I don't care about that.
Vader Immortal.
That one, yes. Yeah. That kind of felt like a little bit of a tech demo to me, but so I was like, okay, I'm not going to get stung on Galaxy's Edge, which is why I've never played it on Quest. But maybe there is a substantial enough game there to warrant that 40 quid price tag.
Like, I waited, even with Vader Immortal, I've seen people, I'm not a massive Star Wars fan anyway, but with Vader Immortal, I was seeing what people were saying, and I think I waited till it was like £10 for the 3 episodes and on sale on the Quest, and I thought, I'll buy that, I'll get the Oculus Store, like the PC version on the Oculus Store.
That's fair and smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
And I bought Tales of the Galaxy Edge when that was in some sale around Christmas this year. But like I said, I probably will double dip once it's on sale on the PlayStation.
I think though, it's one of those games that I probably should pick up and probably will pick up, but when I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
And that very rarely happens because PCVR is still going on. The world of PCVR is still going on. Still a million things I want to do in it.
Yeah.
And Clarkson's Farms got me wanting to paint the multicolored cow painting. There's like a famous cow painting of a multicolored haired cow. And watching Clarkson's Farm, I'm just like, oh man, I want to paint a cow. So I am going to paint that cow in the near future.
Yeah.
But yeah, the PSVR has pretty much consumed me.
Yeah. Like, this is the first time I put a different headset on since it came out. Oh, well, I put on the Quest to download a game that I need to review, which I haven't even started touching yet, and it comes out in a few days, so I need to maybe get around to playing that. But
yeah, I was playing that bow and arrow game. The one from Focus, but with an X.
Yeah.
It looks like super hot with a bow and arrow. And yeah, I just ended up closing it down and putting Resident Evil on. So I need to give them a better chance because I feel like maybe not all of the problems were their fault.
Yeah. So let's hit the... I mean, there's probably going to be more for you this. Let's hit the big 3 releases. The big 3 the big 3 games that people are playing.
Absolutely. What the bat? Yeah. Okay. So where do you want to start?
So I've only actually played one of them. I know I said the other day I planned on trying to get into Resident Evil before today, but I haven't. So I've only actually played Call of the
Call of the
Mountain.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably never play Gran Turismo. I just don't do racing games. And
Honestly, you are missing out.
I've got Resi.
Now,
I haven't played
admittedly,
it.
I've been using a steering wheel, but you are actually missing out on Gran Turismo.
See,
It's a wonderful place to be.
spent so much on racing sim games on PC, and then not.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
them.
get it in a sale. I guess if you're not massively buried in racing on VR racing, then okay, yeah, wait for a sale. But it's I don't want to say it's the best game available because racing games aren't for everybody, especially for the comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
But I see myself. So the big three, I do own all three, and I started with Gran Turismo. I want to say ended up playing Call of the Mountain just out of the blue, and then saved Resident Evil until last, and then I was like, right, once I start Resident Evil, I'm not stopping because I know what I'm like. I stopped Resident Evil 2, and I don't even remember where we are in that game at this point. So I was like, I'm going to play Resident Evil 8, and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
But I find myself wanting to play Gran Turismo more. Like, it's really... And the Gran Turismo bugs the crap out of me. I don't want to have to sit through a driver's license, let alone 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to take my car to the mechanic to change the oil every 5,000 miles. I hate doing that in real life. Why do I want to do it in a video game? But I really do like that game.
Yeah, I think I bought so many on PC thinking this is going to be the one to get me into it, and then they've all got like less than an hour in them because I enjoy them when I first start, and then like once I've turned them off, I don't go back into them.
Yeah.
I think the only one I've got a massive amount of time in is Dirt Rally, but that was because Dirt Rally 2. That was because when that first came out, the performance was so bad. I spent hours and hours trying to get the settings right to make it actually run okay.
Yeah, that was Dirt Rally 2 came out and it was a bit of a chonker on performance. Probably still is. I've not run it in a while.
Yeah.
So you played Call of the Mountain then?
Yeah, well, I played about 4 hours of it, and what I've streamed is what I've played of it. And
so, spoiler wise, I made it to the opening sequence, the logo. Like it did a thing. I caught a glimpse of a character that you're expecting to see, and then I turned it off.
Right,
so if you're going to talk about it, at least don't tell me past that part. Please.
No, I don't really want to, because there'll be people who haven't actually played it, so I don't want to be going on about. But all I can say is the best looking VR game I've seen, like visually, how much it's stimulating it is for you visually. It is.
It's absolutely. I've played the PC mod, the Luke Ross mod.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is a very nice world to be in. Now, being in a world where you're supposed to be in VR, in that world, and on hardware that Sony and Gorilla have basically designed everything for, they know exactly how to make that game work and run beautifully. And I was just like, oh, wow. Wow. Like, it's definitely, there's a reason it's bundled with the console and it's the right choice.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I know a lot of people are going, oh, it's just climbing. I know they didn't really just sell it as, I don't think they sold it as well give people different ideas on what it'd be by the way they promoted it, I think, in the very little promotion they did with the one trailer. I think people expected a lot more action than I believe people are saying it's about 80% climbing.
The thing is, that game is going to be a lot of people's first VR game.
Yeah.
And so I think it's got all of the right... Because it could go very, very wrong.
Yeah.
If you push that game too hard, it could go very, very wrong.
Yeah.
And I think they've just got the right balance of just sort of, there's this much stuff to do. You get to be the physical moving, and you get to do all the actions that you kind of want to do, and be wowed by the environment.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that game, and for me, probably Horizon number 1, GT number 2, Resi number 3. And realistically, I would probably put Resident Evil 8 lower than 3, but we're talking about the big 3. So I would realistically put it lower than 3.
I think the way, like you said, the bundling it with a game, which is probably going to be, like you said, maybe some people's first VR game, so they've handled the climbing's always fun to do when you first get VR. Like you said, you've got the smooth movement. The combat is handled how you'd want it to be handled, with like just a touch strafe and stuff, not a running around. I think they've bundled. That's why it's like it is they want to make sure people who were first getting in VR also have a comfortable game.
Yeah, definitely. And one that you just look at it and you're just like, I live here now. Yeah, I love this. This is amazing. The first part, which we've seen in demos and things in the past, you are on a boat, and that first time you look up and you're like, oh crap, that's a really tall neck.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not even a massive fan of the world. I own the first game twice. I bought it on PlayStation, and then it came out on PC, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it on PC.
Yeah.
So I own the game 2 times. I'm not a massive fan of the world, though. Like, I could take it or leave it. I don't care, but God, the visuals in that game look glorious.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like the only game I've actually stopped and took so many like landscape screenshots. Like, look at that over there, that view. Let's screenshot that. I think it's like
absolutely.
It's just crazy how much they've managed to get it to. How nice they managed to get it look. Really is.
And as somebody who does like taking screenshots in VR, the screenshot feature on the PSVR2 is just exquisite. Like, I was taking screenshots of Moss 2 because I was going to do a bunch of tweets. I was like, find the mouse, and I hid Quill in different areas and then took a screenshot. And those screenshots were terrible. They were really bad. They were taken on a PS5, and they were really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that these screenshots are 4K and just beautiful.
Yeah.
And sent straight to my phone.
Yeah. No, yeah. I actually activated that in the app, and then when I went in the app, because I'd never really used the app very much, I went into it and went into captures, and it was like, activate this now to get them straight from your console. I was like, yeah.
That's it. And then that allows me to dump them in Discord, because I generally like to show how pretty things are, or put them on Instagram or whatever the hell it is I'm going to do with them.
It's how I could I just like shutting them on Twitter and things like that whenever I take them. So, yeah, just taking them is crazy. How easy it is to get them off, how easy it is to. How nice it looks. Let me just find this one. My mouse has come back on my thingy, which is nice.
So as far as I'm concerned, Call of the Mountain is an absolute must for me. It is very expensive, and that's going to come as quite of a shock to PC VR owners, for one, because you're kind of used to paying anywhere between $3.15, maybe $25 for a big budget game.
Makes us be thinking a bit, but
oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Here's one of the screenshots from thingy screenshot. What's it called? Just said what is a landscape? A landscape screenshot from Horizon. It's just mad how nice they are. I mean, that one's probably been thingied a bit because I saved it off Discord, because I shared it with one on Discord. So it's probably it's been compression on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely up there for one of the best ones. But like I said, I haven't touched Resi yet, but I will.
Yeah, because you low-key bought that in like a Christmas sale real cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not buying. I'm not playing Resident Evil. I'm not scaring myself. I'm not spending more money on Resident Evil 8. I bought Resident Evil 8 full price on PC when it came out. I haven't played that yet, so I'm not going to buy Resident Evil. Oh, crap. I bought Resident Evil for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, I refused and then did it anyway.
I think it's in the January sales. It was like £17 or £17.49 or something. I was like, I'll buy it now.
Yeah.
It's like you. I didn't want to buy it. I thought, I've got it on PC. We've got the Prey Dog mod. I don't really want to buy it again. And then I thought, I know as soon as that comes out, it's something I'm going to want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So Horizon for you then, big win. Like, you own a PSVR2, you would do pretty well to buy Horizon.
Definitely. One I'd recommend straight away.
Yeah, it is. As a total newbie game, I don't know. See, this is something. So you've shown your PSVR off to somebody else.
Yeah.
How much of a ball ache is that?
It's not. No, it's quite easy because you just go in, like, for the IPD, you can just quickly go into quick settings and set it up for them.
See, I have a friend that I've been threatening to show VR to her girlfriend for a very, very long time, but our schedules have never sort of married up.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at a very, very near future. I was like, I'll bring a Quest over. But the girlfriend is very, very, she's massively into PlayStation. She basically lives in Red Dead.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation 4. And I'm thinking, do I just take the PS5 over and then let her see the PS5 and then see the PSVR 2?
Yeah.
But I was worried about the whole, because I took the Quest to a family gathering over a weekend.
Yeah.
And we played the squirrel game, Akron. And the beauty of that was that it was just like, I want to be the tree. Well, no, you be the tree first because we don't know what VR's like. So, okay, so I'd be the tree and they're at the phones on the playing the squirrels and stuff. And they're like, I totally want to be the tree. Gimme. So then they were fighting to be in VR. And it was so easy to just take the headset off, wind the ratchet head strap out, plunk it on my head, go, yeah, everything clear, everything comfy, perfect, go.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the PSVR is not built for that. You couldn't just pass and play in like a Mario Party kind of game or a WarioWare kind of game and just pass and play the headset. There's a little bit of setup between each one. Yeah, a little bit of
setup, yeah. Obviously, you're going to have to do the eye tracking, IPD and stuff. And yeah, it's not just a case, like you said, with a Quest, you can only just pass it on. You'll go.
So I think it would be a little bit inconvenient, but I feel like it possibly would be worth it to have.
Yeah.
Because one of my thoughts was that I would leave the PC on and then the remote desktop, the virtual desktop into it and see if I could show her the Red Dead world in VR as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking PS5 might be the way forward. So I don't know. I'll see what I'll do. But I was curious because I could see in the chat your intern was saying, yeah, I played this and it was dope.
Yeah. But yeah, it was quick. It's really quick to do. It's just quick settings, adjust visibility, and it brings up the eye tracking thing. You just turn the thing, get it for them, click OK, and then there you go, it's done.
So okay, that's not too bad then. Not too bad.
Done within a couple of minutes easily. But if you were gonna keep passing it around to more in one go, it'd probably be more of an issue because like every time.
Yeah. It would. And the thing is, I would ultimately, I would probably do my usual thing of just like, this is the just set up the play space and I'd do all that, and then I would pretty much just hand it off to the room. Like I would be like, okay, let's get you in. I do VR all the time. I don't need to be doing it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably just hand it off to the room at that point. So probably wouldn't be too bad, and then I'd just get home and reset everything anyway.
Yeah.
So it's good to know. Good to know. I was afraid it would be a pain to do, but no. if it's not too bad, then that's not too bad. It would be nice if you put it on and it was just like, you're not the person that you were 20 minutes ago, so let's run this thing real quick.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it did that, but I mean, there's only so much Sony can be expected to do, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just a click of the PlayStation button on the control, and then there's quick settings on there. You just go to that, click it, and then it go down to just visibility, and it just brings it up for them. So it's like a very quick process, really. And now it's weird because I've played quite a few games on mine, but there are a lot of games that I've played elsewhere. Like there's one I know in one of the groups we have behind closed doors, I was saying I'm never buying PlayStation Plus because unless something that comes out like sells.
Everybody keeps saying the F word to you.
Yeah. Until
You'll
something
buy it then.
Until something comes out, I will not get PlayStation Plus. Until something comes out that I know I'm going to play it often in there, because I think it's stupid paying. I think the cheapest is 50, isn't it? £50 a year to use it every now and then. And what actually happened is I wanted to have a go of After the Fall in there. And I thought, you know what, I'll just buy a month's subscription because obviously you can, and then cancel it and just try After the Fall. But then when I looked at it, I thought, to be fair, I might as well buy a year just in case.
I should buy After the Fall, so then at least you have a reason for owning that subscription, I guess. Because like you, I was thinking, I'm not going to bother renewing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, I don't know whether it was one of the games that I didn't own, but I did own if I had PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Would allow me to upgrade for whatever price, and I could play it now. So I was like, all right, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think it was. I own Thumper, and I haven't played it. I've done a disservice. Sorry. I guess I'll be back next month to discuss Thumper.
It's interesting because Daniel mentioned in the chat earlier, Thumper saying, has that got PSVR2 yet? Because that would be good with haptics, and yes, it has.
And the haptic situation, I mean, we may as well. Well, should we stick to the main three first? So I've said my thing about Gran Turismo in that it's a really, really pretty game, and it's very, very fun, and I'm very much enjoying it with my steering wheel. I've not tried it with the controller, just to give me a bit of a non-steering wheely kind of vibe to see if it's worth recommending to people that don't own a steering wheel, but yeah, I dig that game. I really do.
And then obviously, you've, like I say, tried Resi 8. I know at first you weren't. I mean, and not only you, I've seen it around the internet. There's a few people not happy with the choices I've made in some situations on it.
Yeah. I get the head movement thing. I understand the head movement thing. You play this made me go out, install the PC version, and download the Praydog mod to see just how different it was.
Yeah.
And the Praydog mod is vastly superior in many, many ways, but the controls are a bit meh.
Yeah.
They're not as functional as they are on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, you've got kind of a quick inventory where you just whip your jacket open. Oh, there's a flashlight. Blah, blah, blah. Naturally, the game itself, the flat screen game, is not designed for that, so the Praydog mod can't add that. That's just weird.
Yeah.
But there were certain things. So, yes, the amount of times they just basically bury your face in the floor is bad. But I can get past that. The thing that bugs me, that really, really, truly, well and truly bugs me, is that, say I'm walking up to that table there, I will get about here, the screen will then fade to black, and then it will just jerk me to the table. Like, in the game itself, it's seamless. There's just, you step up to the table. But because it wants to do a cutscene when I reach the table, you can see the transition, and it's really jarring and immersion breaking. And it was really infuriating to me. Everything else I can get past, like there's comfort settings and all that kind of stuff. And apparently somebody didn't so much lay into me. It was like, you're wrong. And I was like, why am I wrong? It's like, everybody's over all of the bad VRness now. And I'm like, well, no, they're not. But they said, well, you can fix that in the settings. And apparently the fix is you turn on a feature that makes those cut screens a TV screen. Like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
That's the fix for that problem. I shouldn't have to watch these cutscenes on a television.
That's also like more immersion breaking because you get taken out of the actual. Yes,
Exactly,
it fades to black, but jerks you forward. But on that, it takes you out of it fully.
So yeah, it's just not good. Whereas the Prey Dog mod, not designed for VR, it's a mod that's been shoehorned into a flat screen game, and the transition is seamless. There is no game breaking jump.
Yeah.
Which I think Capcom possibly could patch to make that transition a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it's going to be. You get the impression with Resident Evil 8 that Capcom were like, yes, make very pretty game. Sequel to 7. Yes, very. I don't know why I've made them Russian. But yes, very good game. Here you go. And then Sony were like, we've got this PSVR thing, right? Now, the 7 was really popular on the PSVR 1. Here's a bunch of money. Bring us that for the second one.
Yeah.
And so Capcom were like, all right. And then it was never made for VR. It was just shoehorned in afterwards with some creative programming.
Yeah.
And it shows, and that's a little bit sad. But it's that. Let's say if you've got the PC version, the Prey Dog mod, you're not going to have a much worse experience.
No.
From my experience, so I played up to a certain point. No spoilers. I played up to a certain point on my first playthrough, and I got rather annoyed. And then I walked away from the game, and I was like, I kind of want to not go back to that. But then, in my own time, I launched the Prey Dog mod, and yeah, I had a way better time. And I thought, okay, but I rushed through it because I was tempted to just abandon the PSVR2 version, just continue my full playthrough on the. I was going to use the Pico 4, to be honest, and do it that way. But then I've soldiered on with the PlayStation 2, and I'm getting along with it a bit better now. But
yeah.
by far is it my favorite game at all. It's really not. It's top 10, but it's not top 5.
Yeah. So one thing I will say, when obviously, like I said, I got my PlayStation Plus to try after the fall, and I'm glad I got the year because that is, to me, the definitive version of the game. With all the...
Is that good?
The facial haptics if you're getting hit, the adaptive triggers, and all that just make it much more immersive to me. Like the pulling each gun having a different feel and pulling the triggers and stuff. It's just. So I've actually
3 of those. I have After the Fall, and I have After the Fall on Quest. Is it worth the third purchase? Really?
Depends how much you're gonna be. Obviously, I played loads of it on PC. So
well, to give you an idea, Bol and I finished the game for the first time with Bol 4 weeks ago.
Probably not. Well, I've basically played it enough now on Survivor because I've had nothing to get all the upgrades I can on Survivor. So now I need to start running on Veteran again. They start getting purple upgrades.
It's not it's not a bad game, and I don't find any joy. It's one of those games that I want to play with friends, and my friends are normally busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would totally play that. I guess maybe if the price was right, maybe I'll see if I can prod somebody and see if I can make a key disappear.
But yeah, that's another one like Tetris. I was like, I don't imagine I can go back and. Well, I can, but it won't feel the same. So now it's a case of it's probably going to get a lot of time because I'm going to want to get all my unlocks on there again because my guns are a bit pants.
Right, yeah. See, I don't know what a good gun looks like. I'm lucky if I'm just like, ooh, I've got a shotgun, I've got a pistol, I've got a Desert Eagle. That, to me, is as far as the guns go. I've not really modded any of them.
Yeah.
So I should probably play the game more.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm split between 2 versions because I had issues the first time I got it, so I bought it on the Quest, and so I was playing on the Quest, and then I got the PC version actually working because it turns out completely unrelated software was screwing me. So then I started playing on the PC version. So I've got 6 hours in the game, but only 3 hours in the game because it's spread between 2 different versions, and then I'd be doing it again.
Yeah.
With the PlayStation.
Sort of hit me because I got it on Quest. I got given a copy to review on the Quest, and then
I was given Steam, and then I bought Quest because Steam didn't work.
And then I hammered the Quest version. Well, I actually started playing it on PC because it was cross-buy, and then they invited me to have a preview of a level. And I was like, okay, and they went, oh, you need to put the beta thing in Steam, and I was like, oh, I've only got the Oculus version, so they sent me a Steam copy so I could demo this level with them.
Yeah, because I can remember playing you in the early days, and I was like, ha ha, and you're like, I can't see what your fingers are doing.
Yeah.
Because you were on Oculus.
And then I got pulled to, and obviously I've got PlayStation now, but I really didn't touch the Steam version after that because I'd already played it so much to unlock so much on the Oculus. I was like, I can't be bothered doing it all again. But now I am going to do it all again because I'm enjoying the PlayStation VR version that much. I think it was on Friday after Ball's stream. I thought, I'm just going to go on because I hadn't even done all the harvest runs, obviously, on the PlayStation 1. I thought, I'll jump on and just play through the harvest runs. So I've done them once. But then I thought, I've got, like, the relay tower was the only one I had left to do out of the main one. And I thought, I'll jump on, do that one. And I can do the DLC ones at a later date. And then I stopped playing when my controllers ran out of battery.
So that was one of the things I was actually going to bring up earlier. The first time I played, I did a monster stream, and it was about 3.5 hours, and the controllers were dying.
Yeah.
Is it just... Are yours getting better, do you think? I'm sure mine last like a little over 4 hours now.
I feel mine always lasts between 3 and 4 hours. Never seem to get
it's a ghastly battery on them.
Yeah.
But they also charge pretty quick. Like they can go from 0 to 60 in like hour and a half. They're fully charged.
Yeah.
So I feel like they could have done better with the batteries, especially with all of the features that's going on.
I think that's the problem with them. I think I think they've put a size battery in the can probably to keep them as light as they can, but with all the features, all the like there's a way to fix it by turning the rumbles down but
why would I do that?
I know, but you don't want to do that. I mean, they've got like I think high, medium, and low, haven't they? And so you could switch it medium, but it just doesn't feel the same. And you seem to jump back to
disabling an eye. Like, why do I want to be one-eyed?
Yeah.
So it's just weird.
One thing that's been popping about today, which with the controllers, which I've been shocked, there's been a few people whose official charging dock has melted the controllers.
Ooh.
And like they can't charge them anymore.
Been left.
And that's what I'm thinking. Have they just left?
Permanently.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Are they just leaving the dock permanently turned on and putting them in? And then, but yeah, there's been a couple of reports of it.
That's a little worrying because I'm on the market for a dock.
Yeah, I went unofficial.
I've seen yours and I've seen the official one. A lot of people, I heard that they wished that the controllers, when they went on, they just went a little bit of a so that you knew they were on.
Yeah, because I think it's hard to see the charging indicator light when it's in the dock, so you can't really see if it's charging in the official one.
I've just 3D printed basically a small Z-shaped hanger.
Yeah.
That I just hang on the side of the PlayStation and then just plug it in through a USB cable. It's my current solution.
So let's see if I can get a picture up.
Which is doing fine. It makes it look like it's got ears.
The magic of Neos and loading images in.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's your
So I got this one.
Mexi dock.
It's like an unofficial one. I think it was £3 more expensive than the official one, but it holds the headset, the cable, and
the
controllers.
3D headset by the looks of things.
Yeah, it holds your headphones, a headset. There's a place to hook the cable over. It's got the control dock, and you might see at the front there's the 2 blue lights. They're orange if they need charging. I don't know whether you.
Okay, yeah.
So these 2 like little blue lights at the bottom. Those go orange when they're charging and blue when they're fully charged.
I'm nose peeking in the stream so I can see it. And of course RGB, because every gamer needs RGB in their world.
Yep. as I like to call it, the bubble pipe. This is just bubbles in the plastic to make it look like a bubble effect, but
in a still picture, absolutely looks like bubbles. In real life, that's exactly how it looks. It's not the entire time.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I asked him. I was just like, oh yeah, and rather than any other product question, I was just like, actually bubbling, or is it just plastic with bubbles in it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that was a couple. I think it was £3 more than the official one, and I just thought, you know what, to hold the headset, hold my headphones, and be a charging dock, I'll pay the extra couple of quid.
Yeah, whereas me, I'm just looking at basically magnetic. Like I've got magnet clips on the bottom of these, and I've 3D printed a dock, and I just go chink, and then it charges them.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm basically looking at doing that, but it's plugging in 2 USB cables, whereas yours is just 1 cable, which is a little bit more convenient. So I don't know. I'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the standard cycle. Yeah, but I just seen a Reddit post today where people are reporting that they've knocked the controllers because the official charger's been melting them. But like you said, if you're leaving it on permanently and plugging them in every time, they're probably overheating.
Very possibly. Like, we don't know what setting there is that's, designed to stop that kind of thing from happening.
Yeah.
Maybe they're lucky that they didn't explode. Who knows?
I suppose we'll find out more it might just be a few defunct ones going out, and like every product's got defunct versions that
possibly could be that there's something short in it, like there's something getting onto it, because presumably there is an element of magnetics to it.
Yeah, I think it's the one I've got, you plug USB-C in, which is magnetic, and it's always plugged into the controller. I mean, you can take it out, but I understand maybe.
Yeah. No, I have the same thing on these.
And that's what that one uses, and then it magnets into the stand, and I think that's what the official one uses as well.
So maybe they've picked up something that's creating a short.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility. I've got one of these on my phone, a magnetic USB-C, and every now and again I have to get like a toothbrush because pocket lint apparently is magnetic. So I'm still picking up crap via the magnet, even though it's a thing. So there's a possibility that there are other things there, but it is, to me, very possible they've just plugged it in, left it, and then that's it. Yeah.
So as someone who's used LCD for so long with the Index, what do you think of the blacks and the colours in the headset?
So I had a CV1.
I know you had a CV1, with OLED.
I don't know whether I'm either A, not that picky, B, just old and blind, or C, just kind of ignorant. But I don't care that it's OLED. HDR, yes. OLED, don't care.
I think I'm so used to OLED. Like when I put an Index on or Quest on, everything looks so grey when they're meant to be black.
See, I don't know if I've just adjusted for everything. Like everything in this room looks black to me.
I mean, you can tell they're black, but they've always got like a grey thing to them.
Black. So I don't know. I don't know whether my eyes just naturally say that color is black, even though it's not black, because I'm just used to black. I don't know. So it doesn't seem like they say the HDR. That's when blacks really look black to me.
Yeah.
My wife's got a HDR on her 1080p TV, and it's trash without it. But she says it's too dark with it. So it's like, whereas HDR on my TV, I actively turn it off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the PlayStation, I'm totally down. Like, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. I'm trying to think which other. I mean, I've just been trying to jump into as many games as I can at the moment. I'm sticking to Horizon for a full playthrough. This is why I haven't started Resi, because like yourself, I think if I jumped into another long story-based game, I wouldn't go back to the other one.
Yeah, and so one of the big problems with this is that Horizon, I can't watch you play it because you're further than me.
Yeah.
Resi, you can't watch me play it because I'm now about to where you are or further than you at this point.
Yeah.
just so damn much great VR that I was tempted last Monday to stream, but then I thought, no, Monday usually cold stream, so I didn't bother.
Yeah.
And then I found out that he's not actually streamed, which is why I was like, oh, screw it, we'll go live on Monday. Yeah, I just want to play PSVR2. I really do.
Yeah. So I've been jumping in a few, like I said, a few games I've played before, but I've been jumping in a few indies. I jumped into Garden of the Sea.
Okay, yeah. No, I played the early version of that, or I've not been back to it.
I just felt
So,
with the
benefits.
visuals and the HDR and stuff that the colours are going to pop because it's a very bright, childish looking game. And I just thought the colours will be perfect with what it's doing. Plays the same, obviously. I played it on the Quest as well. I bought it on PC in early access when it was basically just you could plant seeds and put water on them. Because it had finger tracking. It's when I got the index, okay. I was like, I'm buying it. It's got finger tracking just to see when I wanted to test it across multiple games. And I think it was on sale at the time. And I seen it had finger tracking. I was like, I'll buy that. Didn't play much of it. And then got it on the Quest when it came out as like version 1.0. And it came to the Quest and I played through all of it, nearly did everything on it. And then just started building my farms and stuff, like the island up with like farming spaces and stuff. Things in set places. No. Oh my god, the USB sounds come back and it's going crazy. I do apologise to the audio listeners if you're just getting noises. Is this controller must have turned off?
But I agree. LCD is totally fine for me. Like I don't have any problem. Even in the dark games, that's something that is I'm totally fine with. Even in the dark games, even when I get like everything kind of looks green over black, I'm still just perfectly fine with it. I don't have a problem.
I've got no idea what's going on with the USB.
He's doing the okie dokie.
Yeah, and for some reason this controller is still got power to it and tracking, but my arm, it's not tracking in the game.
I think you nailed your hand to a...
I think my PC is just like, you've been playing PlayStation. You've not been using me. I'm going to just screw up. As I turn the controller on and off, does it pick my arm back up? If not, I'm just going to have a nailed hand here.
To be fair, the last time we were live, I'm like, Paul got his hand on the desk. Why is it so still? And your controller died towards the end of the last one as well, didn't it?
Yeah, but this actually got charger and it's just not tracking. Oh well, it's just not going to work. I'll just have to use his hand.
Oh well. So yes, PSVR then. You played Garden of the Sea.
Yeah, very.
And
it's
improvement worth the second buy or no?
I think if you've never played it, it's definitely worth on that. It's a very cutesy, just chilled game, really. If you've never played it, it's worth buying. If you've already got it on something else, probably not. It's like the visuals are a style that it works on the Quest. It's just obviously popped and a bit better resolution on the PC, on the PlayStation. So it's not, if you've already played it on the Quest, it doesn't do anything spectacular to make you want to double dip or have the need to double dip.
Speaking of games that are pretty decent on the Quest that have come over to PSVR2, I played City Skylines. Oh, it's not Cities VR. It's not Skylines, it's Cities VR. Played that on the PSVR2. I sunk way more time into that than I thought I would. I was very, very pleased with it. My civilization discovered either religion or erecting very large stone monuments to pagan gods or some shit. I don't know. Stonehenge popped up. So having a really great time. City planner, I'm absolutely terrible. Like, don't ask me to plan you a city because, as you saw, there were people living in industrial zones and dying. And I didn't even realize I needed to deal with that problem. So there was somebody dead in a restaurant for like a month before I realized I had to buy a graveyard.
Yeah, I think it was on your stream. You're like, what do I do with this dead person? Like, I'll buy your graveyard.
So yeah, it's definitely something I could totally sink a lot of time into. Didn't realize I wanted a city builder and started playing Little Cities.
Yeah.
And then yeah, City Skylines PSVR2, absolutely great time, fantastic port. And if you've not played it, I think you could totally spend a lot of time playing that, and you're gonna benefit from the pure lifting power of the PS5.
Yeah, and so I played it on Quest a lot. Well, for quite a bit, and then came to the conclusion that I couldn't put up with the popping. Like, there was so much popping when you were moving through the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then I thought, when they said obviously you come with PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR2, I was like, hopefully they'll fix that. I know it's probably still suffers from a bit of popping, but on the Quest you could be like, you have to basically get right close to it before it even put the details in the building, and I was like, I understand
It's one
why.
of those, yeah, absolutely. It's one of those games that don't really need it. The fact that you can zoom straight in is nice, and it's great for screenshots. And oh, look, everybody's got a name, but I don't think you need it in that kind of game. I didn't use it that often.
No. But yeah, so I've not touched it on PSVR2 yet, because I've got some stuff I want to get reviews out for, and I know I'll be reviewing that, but the stuff, it's weird because I've reviewed it before on another platform, but obviously there's people going to look for what there is on this platform. So what I'm trying to do is review the games I've never reviewed yet first.
Yes.
Rather than double dipping on reviewing a different platform version of it. So, and I know once I start playing Cities to review it, it'll eat a lot of time, because the Quest version did, and I had issues with that one. And obviously
I own it, never played it.
With the power of PlayStation, behind it, the cities can also be a lot bigger.
Yeah, there's not many city management games that have actually made it over to the PC, sadly. The Little Cities, not PCs. Cities VR, not PC. The Townsman VR, which is on PlayStation VR2 as well. Have you been anywhere near that?
No.
No, I haven't either. When I bought it, it was like £3 on the PC, and it had not been touched in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So then when I was like, there's a PSVR2 version of it, I guess they've updated the PC version. I just can't bring myself to go back to it.
No.
But it was fun what I played.
What ones? I started Discronia, but I stopped myself before I got too into it. And
so the Quest version is rather jaggy and it's nice, but the PSVR2, does it massively improve that?
Yeah. The new resolution and I think the textures look a bit more. I mean, I know they're very cel shaded, but they seem to pop a bit more as well.
Yeah. I maybe have to prod somebody.
Yeah.
I do want to play it.
Well, they actually asked me would I have a look at the PlayStation version. I was like, yeah. I said I'll play it again, because it's only episode 1 on PlayStation at the moment. Episode 2's not there yet. But I was like,
okay, I thought it would have gone 1
I
and
thought
2.
it would have put 1 and 2 at the same time. I think they're going to come out a lot quicker, closer to each other. But I think they've delayed one slightly. And I was like, I'll play it again. And they basically just said to me, the only difference is graphics, so you don't need to play the whole thing again. You can just talk about the graphics. I was like, I suppose so, but as soon as I put it on and I started playing it, I was like, I need to turn this off, or else I'm just going to play it all the way through and not play anything else.
Nice. That's nice. Yeah, the Quest version I started playing, but it does look a bit simplistic at times.
Yeah.
No, that's always terribly a bad thing. And Arc and Aid, just slightly off topic. Arc and Aid. Arcade is now Arc and Aid. Very sort of simplistic, maybe 4 or 5 colours. Superb game. VRnoid, that's just come out on Saturday. Once again, there's maybe 5, 6 colours in that entire game. Very, very simple looking. Just next best game of the festival for me. Like, I love that game. So a lot of good can come from very simple surroundings, but I would like to see a bit more of that game, a bit more rounded.
Yeah. Another one I was tried for the first time over the weekend, Pavlov. I thought, I need a shooter.
Okay. Yeah.
But I never got into it on PC, Like, I don't know why. I thought I would. And then, obviously, I was like, it's really the only tactical shooter at the moment on PlayStation. So I thought I'll try it. I'm a big shooter fan. Thank you for the bits. I don't know how many there was. 12. Thank you.
12, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Jeff. We play, I don't know, I just never got into a PC, and then I thought it's the only tactical shooter at the moment. I mean, obviously Firewall is going to come out, but now I've got PlayStation Plus, I will probably end up trying that. But damn,
I mean, they've got one job.
Come back. Yeah.
Don't make it a lobby simulator. That's job numero uno.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So I got that, and there was. And I've actually jumped in and played a bit over the weekend and, well, last night, and I'm actually quite liking it. It's a very basic shooter. It's got the mode you're expected to have. Obviously, with the PC, and I think this is going to be the game's longevity. Are Sony going to eventually allow them to put mods in it? Because I think the PC one's lasted as long as it has because there's so many user-made maps, and rather than, I think it's got about 8 base maps in the game, which I think. It's got the zombie mode. I don't think
Onward has the mods, and yet that's still incredibly popular. I think the thing with Pavlov is basically it was like CSGO.
Yeah.
But for PCVR, which is what a lot of people liked and a lot of people really disliked about it.
Yeah, and I think what we've got on it is with Pavlov is it's a very basic shooter, not trying to do anything special. It's all about the guns, the realistic handling, the reloading. That's what Pavlov's always been about, like how well they've actually got the gun system working. Like, I know most VR games have automatic loading, the manual reloading, but they seem to have concentrated on it perfectly to get it perfect for every gun. Oh my god, I've lost both hands. My PC is. I got the USB sound again, and then the other hand's disconnected. But they're not wired in any way.
Shall we just fire through this? Because, I mean, what you guys aren't aware of is that my headset is essentially failing. Like, every 5th or 6th frame is grey. So my headset's just been dying this entire time. His headset is just going ba-dunk, ba-dunk. Like, he's lost his hands and now can't end the podcast. So, right, okay, this is a travesty. We should absolutely smash this out. So, Pavlov is a good port.
Buy it if you like shooters. One thing they've said with Pavlov is, and one thing they've come up with notice on Pavlov is the devs part out and saying because of the foveated rendering, it's actually got a 40% performance boost over the PC version because of the foveated rendering with the eye tracking.
Which is good, which is really good. See, that's using it right. And because it's uniform across everybody's experience, they can use it in every single game.
Yeah.
Which is something Gran Turismo 7. I never knew it was happening in headset. I never saw it in headset. But I was watching Storm Games stream Gran Turismo. And when I looked at it, I was just like, that fuel gauge and those tires look really, really weird. And I said, do me a favor, keep your head forward, but look to your right at your fuel gauge and your tires. And they did that. And as I could instantly tell the moment they looked, because it instantly became clear. That was the first time I'd seen it really in action, doing that kind of trickery. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, this is the future of VR. It needs to become uniform across every headset. And then all of our powerhouse PCs could do infinitely more.
Yeah. But yeah, if you've not played, even if you've played Pavlov and you've got a PlayStation VR, it is worth. It's the only really online multiplayer shooter, like competitive one, not like PvP. Which
I don't do competitive shooting. I shoot my friends just fine, but I don't want to go against the world. I went against the world in Onward, and somebody was just running around screaming a racial slur that I'm not going to repeat. And I was like, I'm just...
that's what you need to find. That's what you find in Pavlov as well, even the PlayStation one. You are going to run into toxic people in there, and who think it's funny to think it's funny to team kill at the beginning and things like that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it seems to be a very prominent feature in the shooting genre, like Call of Duties and everything. Onward,
Yeah.
everything like that. Give somebody a gun and they think it's funny to just try and ruin people's games.
Yeah, I just don't need it. There's just no place in my world for it, so I'll just it's just not something I'll do. What else have you tried then?
We didn't really go back to it earlier. Thumper, fantastic.
Oh yes, Thumper. I mean, spoil away. There's no spoiling Thumper.
Yeah, uses
You're a freaking beetle on a roller coaster.
uses the hand haptics, like the control haptics well. Obviously, there's not really any use for the adaptive triggers because you're not really doing anything. It's all button presses.
No.
Getting damage makes your
Oculus
headset rumble.
Game, right? It was an Oculus Go game, and you used to just press the left or the right on the little round pad thing.
Yeah.
And that's when you would stick your arse out to do things. And it very well received. Like, everybody seems to really want to play that game in PSVR, and I think I'll buy it because apparently I own it.
Yeah. It's worth the $3.99 upgrade, even if you play it on PlayStation. More as well with the Tempest audio inside of the PlayStation 5. It just sounds, it's just a game that you have to, it sounds, the music's perfect. Bit like Tetris.
I do need to fire that up, slap on the Wooja. See, the haptics of the face and everything is everybody's like, yeah. But the Wooja seems to have ruined haptics for me. Because I think, well, I want more from this facial interface because I'm getting a lot from my chest. It's a wonderful feature though. But honestly, if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be screaming for it. It's not what I expected it to be.
Quickly back to something more related to around Pavlov is there is people now showing they are starting to make gun stocks.
I did see that. They've made like an adapter for a ProTube, right?
Yeah, ProTube have come out and said they're working on the adapters, but there's other companies coming out and saying, we've already made one. This is our gun stock that we're going on sale soon. So for those,
could totally 3D print one.
Yeah, for those who miss the PlayStation aim controller, you're going to get something if you're willing to splash money on it.
And what I need is something that will allow me to stick these controllers to the aim controller, because that thing's just going to collect dust on the wall. I might leave that up there just for posterity. Yeah. But yeah, that thing's never going to get used again.
Whichever ones. I've done pistol whip. Like I said earlier, that gives you head haptics. If a bullet's flying past, whizzes past your head, it vibrates lightly. If one hits you, it's a more
aggressive
vibration. So again as well, you've got the triggers feel right for the pistol. You can change your pistol type from like to a D Desert Eagle. It feels a bit, each pistol, the type of pistol is going to have a different feel to pulling the trigger, which makes it interesting. Synth Riders, never really noticed anything with the facial haptics on Synth Riders. It's Synth Riders.
I imagine that looks very nice though. The neon synth world.
Yeah, and HDR and everything
on that display.
Very nice, yeah.
Looks very, very nice.
I've only really jumped into Moss at the moment to see the upgrade to the visuals, and they're basically on par with the PC versions now.
Right, I did wonder. Because Moss is on the to-do list. I'm still just crossing some T's and dotting some I's. Yeah. But yeah, there's one feature that Polyarc was like, we dare you, Dr. Oculus, to have a staring contest with Quill. Because of the eye tracking, you can literally have a staring contest with Quill. I really, really want to do it.
I tried today and won.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, challenge accepted. Just as soon as I get the game, and they said, yes, we'll sort that out. And then I've never reached out to them for a key. But I do want to have a staring contest with my favorite little.
Is it what's it called? No, is that the Disney movie? The one that was for PlayStation where you just match colours to set fireworks off. Fantavision. Yeah, Fantavision. I've played that one.
Everybody was like, I can't wait to play Fantavision. I'm like, Looks like a tech demo that's going to be a waste of money. Is it a tech demo that's a waste of money?
I enjoyed it. As I found out from my day one stream, it's not an interesting game to watch. Enjoy playing it. It's not interesting for people to watch.
You're just looking at stuff and then it fires a firework or some shit to hit it. Like, is that?
So you've got to, like, the way it works is it's going to fire coloured balls up, and you've got to basically only highlight the ones in set colours and then trigger a firework. And then you keep matching. As you match more, you start getting power-ups that'll then make, like, more fireworks off, so it'll explode and fire loads of little ones out, which will then explode and things like this. It's just about scoring by matching colours, really, but having something visual in front of you rather than, like, the likes of, let's say, columns where you're just trying to match them up in the break. It's more visual in your face, basically.
Is there any variation?
I can't remember. I've only played the first few levels, but there hasn't really been any apart from, like, different backgrounds. But what I'd advise with this one is it's a sale game. I mean, I paid the full price for it because I loved the original version of it, but it's definitely a sale game when you get it for
Yeah, it sounds boring as all hell, if I'm honest, pal.
Like 50+% off type of sale.
You've not sold me on that game in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry, just thinking that sounds so boring. Like, at least Tetris Effect has got various surroundings and music, and it's pretty. Whereas that just sounds like you just sat there staring at a night sky, just going, "Oh, there's one. Yeah, there's one." And it just sounds so boring. I'm not. I'm not bothered about that game at all.
Runner, which is indie neon anime inspired, like Akira type anime inspired game.
The motorbike game?
Yeah.
That looks so not fun.
Again, it's $10.99 to buy now, but I would probably wait for a sale.
Okay, yeah, that's.
It gets old very quickly.
You were playing on Quest.
It gets old very quick. Is all I can say, because it's just the same thing. With the first few levels, you feel like the adrenaline of, like, going fast, aiming that stuff, but by the time you get to where I was up to, I was like, I'm just doing the same thing. It's just a different boss fight at the end. Like,
okay. Little variation.
Yeah. God, I've been through quite a few, just on and off, just to try them. Yeah.
I think What the Bat is great, although it is a room scale game. It's forced room scale, which I was a little bit scared of committing to because I'm not in a room scale play space.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's very fun. It's like a cheese dream. So I was always going to like that game.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like it in a lot smaller space.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of that on PC. I haven't touched the PlayStation 1 yet. It's but not touched it.
But as far as, like, haptics and stuff go, I don't think you would gain anything from it.
No. But I can't remember which ones I've played. I've been jumping in and out of all sorts. Like I said, the only real big long form one I've jumped into is Horizon. And played a lot of After the Fall.
I'm trying to think what other games I jumped into.
Puzzle in Places.
I didn't buy that, and I was going to do that on Payday, and now I've spent all my money on something else that's going to improve the PSVR streams.
But yeah, Puzzle in Places.
The 1000p puzzle, did you do it? Or did you try it?
No. I've never ever played it before, so I've just been going through the basics while I'm getting used to it. I think I've done most of them on, like, 25 piece.
I played the demo on the stream and I was like, this is just beautiful. Like, I dig this game so incredibly much. My biggest problem with Puzzling Places is the game itself is not like a AAA game. So realistically, it's the kind of game you want to be spending about £10-15 on.
Yeah.
But then if you want more puzzles, you have to spend more money and more money and more money. I feel like it's going to be one of those games that's incredibly expensive, and it kind of shouldn't be. Like, if you're going to charge me for DLC packs, that's fine, but make the base game free. If you're going to charge me 20 quid for the base game, then give me a good damn few levels. I could buy Jigsaw 3D for about £2.
Yeah.
and play that on the Oculus Quest, and I get maybe 10, 15 puzzles, which are beautiful puzzles. So why do I want to spend £15 on a game that's got like 5, 10 puzzles? It financially, it just didn't make sense to me. But it is so fun. And that's the other thing, I own it on the Quest.
The one that's popped in my mind, I already own on the Quest, but they give it a full facelift. Zombieland Headshot Fever.
That game looks so beautiful. It really does look great.
The new style of it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it made me... See, I know what the game is about, so I know ultimately it is just a matter of playing the levels and seeing a different level every time, and then eventually it just becomes about scoreboards.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, I don't want to buy it again.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm just going to get to the end and go, here's uninstall, and then I'm never going to touch it. But I really do want to see what that new art style looks like.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. I know as 13's in there, is on the PlayStation. No, when the blue thing comes up, you just look, eye track, and send you to that next spot. So there's no like pressing X to jump to the next spot. You just look at it and it takes you there. Which is
I did go hardcore and try and get like a high score. I don't know whether I got in like top 10 or something like that.
Yeah, no.
At one point,
when I played that, I mean, I put it. You were in the group when I said it. I set like something like 35 seconds for the first level or something. I was like, get in, and then game on Scorpio. So it was like 13 seconds. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you could really go crazy with that game, and it is great fun to play.
Yeah.
So the gameplay loop itself is really, really fun. I just know what I'm like. I'm going to play a thing and then I'm going to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I've got so many games, and I jumped into my Steam library the other day. I was like, oh crap, I own that game now. I'd totally play that. What's that board game, but it's a single player? It's not Demio, but it's a single player. It's like Tales of the Chronicles of the board game.
Tales of the Crooked.
Whatever that is. I own that, and I've wanted to play it for years.
It is unbelievable, that. It is.
So I should play that. And then I've got the Tilt 5, and I've got Takanoko that I want to play, and I've got so much stuff I want to do, but I just keep coming back to this PSVR.
The best looking game outside of Horizon, which I've mentioned, I've been trying to beat some of your scores on it. Kayak.
Beautiful, beautiful game, yeah. And there was some areas that I looked over at some trees in the distance, and I thought they look a bit, yeah. But I think it's probably the same on the PC. I don't think there's a great deal of difference.
No,
they've done great things with that game.
Yeah. The first time I tried to play it, I played it on. Well, I had an old chair that broke, but it didn't have adjustable arms. So when I was trying to kayak, my elbows were hitting the arms of the chair, and I was like, I should really move to the side with Stu's chair, which I never did. But then I got a new chair anyway where the arms go down, and I tried it again. I was like, this is... I can actually maybe try and
I can see that
play it properly now.
The Cybershoes chair absolutely saved my bacon on that one, because it is completely free.
Yeah,
I love this chair. I'm sat in it now. Yeah, it's a fantastic chair. That, though, it ran perfectly, and that's the first time anybody's going to see that kind of VR.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with that. It's going to tire you out, and you're going to be stunned when you do.
Yeah.
Superb. So, yeah, Kayak, absolutely. And it's 14, 15 quid.
Yeah.
That's a good price. It's a darn good price.
The first thing I tried, though, even though I hadn't really played, I'd done the tutorial, I was like, I'm going to go... First time I went to the ice level, I was like, I'm going to try and get the speed up fast enough to jump over the ice thing. And I never ever managed to get my speed fast enough. I just sort of hit it and then stopped on it, and I had to keep going, reset kayak, and go back to the last checkpoint. I was like, I'm going to do it. Nope.
I was watching, they put out a video of one of their fastest players, and they were basically showing the arm movement of
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's all well and good, but when I want to go fast, I put them both in the middle and just do this.
So do I. That's what I'll do.
There's an achievement for going over 50 kilometers or something like that, and I was just like, there we go, achievement unlocked. Yeah. Oh, achievements, that's one of the things that really grinds my gears about the Resident Evil 8. I hate to come back to it. Resident Evil 8, I can't get trophies. That drives me insane.
Tell you something else.
Why not let me get trophies?
There's one thing I will say I don't like about the trophy system as well. is when you get them, it pops up in the headset, like bloop in the corner, this big black box, bloop, you've got this trophy, and you're like, it's like just takes you out of it for a bit. You're like, oh, I wonder if there's a way to disable it. Or someone comes online or a game update and you get this pop up in the headset, which is quite big on the screen, really. Like, oh, you've
Either I don't have any friends or I've disabled it. I've never seen somebody come online.
Yeah, so there must be a way to. Probably is a way to disable them coming up. I'll have to have a look.
But I've totally seen a trophy and it popped up and said that it couldn't synchronize my Phoenix stupid whatever Ubisoft game that was, and I was like, I don't care.
I think
that
there's
game's
actually
dead to me. I bought it because I got it cheap.
I think it's actually a video of that Risa King put out, like just a clip of him trying to do an intro to a video, and I'm not going to say, but I mean, you know, there's a Thunder Jaw in Horizon, and it makes him jump when he's trying to do his intro, but then he goes, oh, and apparently Gran Turismo's updated, because it pops up in his thing, Gran Turismo's updated. He's like, oh, and Gran Turismo's updated.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm taking my own screenshots, and you'd press the share button, and then it puts a little thing just in the top corner to tell you you've taken a screenshot.
And it looks like a broken PNG. It looks like a broken image symbol, doesn't it? And you're like,
it really does. Yeah, it does. And then, of course, I'll be moving along, and I'm like, ooh, I want to take a picture of that, like a couple of seconds later, and it's still there on the screen, and it screenshots its freaking UI.
Yeah.
Sony, turn it off that when you take a screenshot, it doesn't capture your own UI, because that's annoying. Ruined a really great screenshot on mine, you second thought people. I'm trying to think what other games I've played. Anybody else remember any games I've played? I did Kayak, did Puzzling Places, Star Wars, Resi, Cities.
What's your play?
I've got a thread on Twitter, but I can't be bothered to get it up and find it. Of basically where I was putting, I've played this game and this is my thoughts. So it does exist.
I could have tried for you, but I can't bring anything up.
I can jump onto Twitter. Just vamp. Just you vamp. I mean, my hands have probably gone dead anyway.
So one thing I've seen is on around a few places, which is what really confused me, is people going, oh, they never put a demo disc in this one. There's like plenty of demos on the store.
Just download them. Yeah, not everybody's got a disc. Like, not
I don't
can use a disc.
Imagine if I got a demo disc, I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks. T-Coaster.
So here we go. Yeah, right. So Kayak Mirage, love it. Great price. Go buy it. Puzzling Places is exactly what you expect it to be. Star Wars, Cities VR, What the Bat. Horizon, Gran Turismo, Resident Evil. Yeah, that's pretty much all of my games I've played.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, apparently Tony's dead. I don't know who Tony is.
Tony.
With some cyclist or something. I don't
know.
All is well.
The one thing I found interesting is, like I said, people saying there's no demo disc when there is a good number of demos. But one thing they got well, I know there's a lot of them have been upgrades or older games that have been out and other things coming to PlayStation. They actually launched with a decent size, amount of games for the launch window. Was it like 40 it launched with?
There was certainly plenty of there's we've named a good bunch of games, and there's many a game we've not played.
Yeah. I've bought Light Brigade, but I've not played it yet, so I can't really talk about that because I haven't even launched it yet.
Yeah, I do want it. I pre-ordered that Behind the Eyes or whatever that was.
But
that's not out yet.
Yeah, that's this week, isn't it? One of my upsets was obviously last month. I was saying I can't wait to play Switchback, and it's not out till later now. It might even been delayed last month. To be fair, it was, wasn't it, when we talked about it last month? But yeah, that's this month. Behind the Eyes, or Beyond the Eyes, or Behind Every Blink, or whatever it's called. I've got that pre-ordered as well because that looks like an interesting thing, and it's going to be good use of the eye tracking.
But
on the eyes or whatever it is.
So Switchback, The last time I was on the podcast, I was like, I'm not playing that. It's a roller coaster. It's stupid. I don't see the point. I might be going to London to play it on Friday.
Yeah.
So I am totally gonna play that, but it's I've since come to terms with it, and I was wrong. I will say this: I was wrong, because Pistol Whip is essentially a roller coaster where you shoot things to music.
Yeah.
I think I was mostly trying to just protect myself from fear, because it might be spooky.
No, you don't have the choice.
And I don't think I like spooky. Resident Evil 8's not spooky. It's not.
I think what will freak me out the most, and I've seen it on the trailers, is where the blinking and the mannequins are moving.
See, that's the thing that I look forward to.
I think that'll be a freaky part, though.
Part of me wants to leave, try and never blink.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to try and cheese it and shut one eye and then swap. So there's never an eye closed.
Mm.
And then part of me just wants to rapid fire blink.
Rapid fire blink, yeah. That's what I'm thinking I'll be doing.
So I do want to play that. I do. So yeah, I am totally going to play Switchback. Even if I don't go to London on Friday, I'm still probably going to play Switchback.
Yeah, it comes out.
It looks scary as hell and fun.
Maybe end of the month, isn't it now? Like
16th, they said that he's going to release, I think.
And there's more people announcing games, so the library is going to keep getting bigger and bigger, quite quickly, I think, because there's a lot of people, yes, for games that have been on other platforms, but you've got to think some people have only ever had PlayStation VR. This might be the first VR. So it's good to see that companies are actually looking and saying, Survive, they announced they're bringing it over around the...
what?
Yeah, Survive.
SUR1v3?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. I would totally play that.
Mm-hmm.
That's something else we can use our PlayStation Plus for.
Yeah, I think it came out on PlayStation VR 1, but was very flawed, obviously, with the controls.
Really?
Yeah, so they've announced...
I cannot see that game working very well on a PS4.
No. Then he announced
it barely works well on a PC.
It's coming out, and it's not going to be a free upgrade, it's going to be a brand new release. So...
Oh, nice.
I never owned it on there anyway, so it makes no difference to me.
No.
But yeah, the libraries keep getting bigger. I think there's a lot of good things to come from it. I'm hoping a few more AAA devs think about jumping in, big name devs think about jumping into it.
Definitely. I think that's one of the things that the PlayStation was for me. I was afraid that I was putting it on some sort of a pedestal. But the PSVR2 to me was always going to be a gateway to newer, bigger, higher budget games.
Yeah.
That other VR headsets just won't bring to the table. I think it's definitely got the potential to do that. I think especially, I can't imagine Sony's not going to throw, time and effort and money into it.
No.
Also, they own Insomniac Games.
Yeah, Sony.
And they do have a history of VR games.
Yes.
Edge of Nowhere, Rhombus of Ruin.
Stormland.
All the VR games.
Stormland from the Oculus.
Was that Insomniac?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so they've got a history of VR. So Sony's got a new cracking VR headset. They own Insomniac. The license to Spider-Man games.
Yep.
I'm just saying...
I listed just ahead
with SciTech.
I think the day before the release of the PlayStation, I put a post thing out on the VRrealm.com. Go over there if you want reviews and things. Looking at the 5 games I'd love to see come to PlayStation VR, and I mentioned in Spider-Man, and I said Insomniac made the Spider-Man games successful again. I think the last one I thought was decent before the new ones was Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So they've rebooted that, so why not give them a chance with the VR?
Yeah.
Like I said, SciTech games for
totally
Winlands have shown how well the mechanic can work.
You see, I don't know any inside information, but what I do know is John from Winlands has a PSVR2.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do hope they port that to PSVR2 because I'll play the shit out of that game again.
Yeah. I will.
Play it on PC, play it on Quest. I will totally play it on PSVR2.
Yeah. I definitely would as well. What else was
Do you
there?
want to open it to questions?
Yeah.
Or if anybody else has got any games that they either played and want to talk about or that we've missed. It is currently 10 p.m.
Oh, has it gone that fast? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Open it to questions,
It's
people.
10:03 to be exact.
Open it to questions, people. I'm opening it to questions for people. We'll try and get through some.
As far
if we
as
need to.
the future of PSVR goes,
Killzone. Sony. Killzone. Give it a Fight Sprite Games. They've done an outstanding job with your Horizon license by the same company, working on the same engine, so give them Killzone.
I've said it a few times and I'll say it again. PlayStation Home
Yep.
was the product of this little company. You may not know them. It's called End Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's totally a thing. Just do it, End Dreams. I've probed the people that I know at End Dreams, and they were all just like, "Oh, that'd be a great idea, wouldn't it?" But nobody ever gave anything away. So I don't know. Upcoming PSVR releases you're looking forward to. So behind the eyeballs, that definitely looks fun to me. Switchback looks terrifying and fun. I don't know what else is coming.
Down for me. There's others I've seen and it's going to annoy me.
I can't think of any that's coming, Mr. Ball, if I'm honest.
I know I'm hitting a brick wall as well.
I'll see a list of games later and be like, crap, yeah, I want to play that.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, yeah, I just very near future.
Firewall. Now I've got PlayStation Plus.
I don't care about Firewall. I really don't.
Because I didn't play the first one, so.
I love the idea of playing it with a gun controller, but it was mostly annoying for me and just a sore spot. So I'll play it if enough people want to play it. But my problem is that I'll play it on those 3 occasions that we can get a lobby full, and then I'll never play it again. So it'll just be a waste of money for me. What game surprised you the most?
Ooh.
Resident Evil 8 in a bad way for me.
Surprised me the most.
I knew Gran Turismo would look good, but I didn't realize I'd have that much fun playing it.
What I expected not to be great. Or not to surprise me. God.
And pleasantly surprised, I would probably say City Skylines. It was more fun than I thought it would be. I expected to fail miserably pretty quickly, and I didn't. And so because of that, I had a good time.
Probably for me, after the fall, because I didn't expect that they could make it any better than the PC version, even though they had all these features. Or even just the implementation of the Tetris. It's just more what they've managed to do, what companies are doing with the hardware that they're being given, rather than one set game.
Mr. Bull asked a question.
What game from PC would you want to see ported to PSVR? You can't say Alex.
Does real VR fishing count? Because there was a PC version where they kind of abandoned it and just kept going with Quest.
Never came to Steam, but the Quest version had it.
Yeah. Steam's coming soon. It's been that way for the last 4 years. But yeah, so I would love real VR fishing in the PSVR. But I don't know how it would benefit at the end of the day. I think it would end up just being a moderately glorious version of the Quest version. Yeah. So, yeah, there is that. Although you could do lots of fun things with the haptics.
Yeah.
Other PC games that I would love to see come to the PSVR.
Jet Island.
I'm thinking more. Once again, like you, I'm feeling like I'm going to pander to the crowd. But don't you think Everslaw or Hellsweeper would be?
Hellsweeper's going to come to it.
There we go. Hellsweeper's coming to the PSVR. I would totally play that. And never thought,
I'm
yeah,
trying
that
to
would
think
be
what
pretty
I
dope.
absolutely loved on PC. There's so many, and I'm just trying to think which one. I just have to mention Jet Island because I haven't had the chance. For a few episodes, I normally never shut up. I always recommend people buy.
Water bears. Bring water bears to PSVR2. There's got to be other. I mean, there's many other
There's
PC
loads, yeah.
games.
There's probably it'll probably
don't
get
wanna
off
say
and be like, oh yeah, that one.
Pass through.
Pass
What were
through.
your thoughts?
Oh, the pass through. It's got an okay depth, hasn't it? But it's not like
And it is a lot clearer than
mirror
I
for it.
expected
It's
as well. I
very
use it
clear.
all the time.
I forget I've got it though. Like today, I went from playing the Star Wars demo to want to sit down to see what upgrades are done to Moss, see what Moss 2 look like. And I was like walking around my room, like with my hands trying to find my chair. And I'm like, you can just press a button and go in pass through mode, you idiot.
You just go boop, and then you can see everything. Yeah, I used it quite a bit. I quite like the pass through.
Yeah.
The cable itself, I would probably say, is a bit shorter than an index.
Yeah.
Do you know where the index cable breaks away? It's probably a little bit shorter than that. So that'll give you an idea. I'll rip them apart later on and check, but I'm pretty sure it's slightly shorter than an index cable. But that said, I've also heard people extending them with USB extenders, and they work perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think
So with that,
someone was putting
who knows?
Who was that I seen who said they were going to put a video out of what the ones have tested and which ones work the best and stuff? Someone was going to, of all the ones I've already got. I can't remember who it was.
I've got a few USB extenders. So yeah, I don't feel the need to, but
Yeah.
it's nice to know it's a possibility.
So let's just end with a question from me. Do you recommend people buy a PlayStation VR2?
If you've got a straw. Yes. So here's my thing with the PSVR2. The PSVR2 retails at somewhere in the region of about 500 quid. Probably slightly less. Without Call of the Mountain.
I think it's I think it's 500 and... Oh, was it 529 with cost? No, it's 529 without and it was a 570 with, wasn't it?
Right, I think I paid 560. The point is, we'll say 520. The PS5 is about 480.
Yeah.
So you're basically looking at about $1,000 for a PS5 and a PSVR2.
Yeah.
You cannot, pound for pound, find a better VR experience.
No. It's sort of the view I had when I've been playing it, and obviously I will review it once I think I've had enough time with it. I feel if you've got the money and the PlayStation 5 already, and you want a solid VR thing, it's a no-brainer to me. But
if you already own a PS5 and you're looking at buying a VR headset, you'll be much better off spending the extra £130 to buy the PSVR 2 over a Quest.
Yeah.
Even though the Quest has a bigger catalogue, buy the PSVR 2, you will not regret it.
If you don't have a PlayStation VR, you want to get into or try VR, and even if you've got a Quest is a way to try it for cheaper. Or Pico, whichever one you fancy. If you've got a good enough PC, you can obviously do PC VR with that as well. But if it's sort of like, it depends what you want, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, to go from 0 to Metaverse, you cannot do it better, cheaper.
No.
You could get, so the cheapest headset is the Pico Neo 4. And honestly, I would not tell anybody off for going for a Pico Neo 4. If you were also going to be connecting it to a PC, because the joy of the Pico Neo 4 is it looks great, it's nice, it's comfy, it's perfect headset and everything. Microphone crap. But then also, if you've got the power of the PC and the library of the PC behind you, it's a no-brainer buy a Neo 4. If you don't have a PC, then the Pico Neo market's it's a little small. But it's also a few years behind Oculus, so on that basis, I would say buy an Oculus. But for you to buy the cheapest one of those two, which is the Neo, by about £3, and then spend the other £600 on a PC, you are not going to get a better experience than what you can get from PlayStation 5. So, yes, is the short answer. Totally, if you've got £1,000 to spend on a VR headset, you'd be better off buying that than, say, what's the big fat one? Pimax.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong, Bol. Honestly, if I thought that you wouldn't want to keep it, I would post you mine. Maybe I will anyway.
Yeah.
So good, the end result is, I think it's two PSVR friends. 2 thumbs up from me. I dig it. I do.
2 thumbs up from me.
Probably.
I can try, but it's not going to work.
I want you to. Can you click the jump button?
No, it's like my controllers aren't connected at all.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you for the bits, Ball. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, that's like, even if I can't bring any menus up or anything like the Steam menus or anything, I think my controllers
those controllers are straight
anymore.
up disconnected to the heads, aren't they?
But
nice.
But the lights are green to say that they're apparently paired.
Woohoo! Tech issue stream. Mine have actually sorted themselves out for the most part.
But yeah, well, they've actually turned off like they're inactive. No. They're green again, so but I can't move my arms. So I can't wave, but this is where we'll end it. Thank you for everyone who joined. Oh, Doc's running off again. He's coming back. I can't move the camera this time, so you're out of luck.
There you go. Paul's waving.
I'm waving.
Paul's waving.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you for everyone who's joined. Thank you for Doc for joining again. Again, if you're watching this back, there will be links down in the description to go over and make sure to follow him on Twitch and show him some love. And I will be coming back with more PSVR2 streams most likely. I'm also going to have to see what's going on with my PC. But thank you for everyone who's joined. And until next time, I'll sort of wave my ears. Bye for now. And now I've got to manage to try and switch scene.
I was going to say, now how are you going to do that? Because I can't do any of that.
I'll lift my headset up. You're going to see a weird thing. And also for the audio listeners, before I go, apologies for all the USB disconnect sounds this time. I don't know what's doing it. Apart from the PC was doing it. But yeah, thanks everyone. I will speak to you all next time. Bye for now.
Ta-ta!
One more disconnect sound for good measure.